Welcome to another video on cryptocurrency investment. Today we'll be looking at how to buy USDT cryptocurrency on the Bybit Exchange P2P platform. To access the P2P area, tap the more icon on the home page. Then under the buy crypto section, you'll find the P2P trading. Select that. Then, being a first timer on this area, you're going to be presented with several information. Do well to go through them one by one, as they will guide you on how to navigate the P2P trading area. As you can see, that was one of the possible pop-up windows you could get when navigating into the P2P trading area. Now that we're on the P2P area, you want to set up your P2P trading profile to suit your trading direction. First of all, you want to verify what you have as your currency. That's your default currency. For Nigeria, you will want to have a Nigerian Naira as your default currency. You can see you have several options, so choose the one you want, or just scroll down till you find it and select it. So once you've set your base currency, now you can look at the currency you want to convert your base currency into. In this case, we are trying to convert our Nigerian Naira into USDT cryptocurrency. You can see on the Bybit platform, you have several options: USDC, BTC, and others. So let's stick with the USDT we are here for. Now, the next thing we want to do is to select which of these merchants we are going to trade with. As you can see, we have several merchants placing their adverts trying to sell USDT to you at different prices. The first one here is a Bybit official merchant. Then you have AJ01, Noni Breezy. These are examples of the different merchants you could find available to trade with on the Bybit P2P trading platform. So how do you know the one to choose, and which one should you choose? Each advert, as you can see, have several information available. First of all, you have the name. Then you have if a person is online or not. As you can see right now, this one is online, but this one on the other hand was online 2 hours ago, as you can see. So take note of that as well, because that will determine whether the person will be available to respond to you as quickly as possible, because these are live transactions. It's real time. So the person has to be available to respond to you when you request to trade with them. So do consider that. The next thing you see is the price. The price this person is willing to sell their USDT to you. You can see several prices on this platform. You have the first one, 1,129 Naira to 1 USDT, then 1,060 Naira to 1 USDT, and so on and so forth. So this gives you options, and you can choose the one that suits your intentions. Of course, you'll prefer the best price, not so, which is the cheapest price you can lay your hands on. So that's one thing to consider. But the next thing to consider is the quantity of USDT available to this particular merchant, or the quantity of USDT he is trying to sell, total overall, the portions he have. Okay, now this portion can be taken by just one person or multiple people. If, for example, you can see this first one, we have quantity 101.4192 USDT available to be sold by this merchant. Now, if one person comes and choose to buy 50 USDT out of this 101, that means it's going to have 51 USDT left to trade. Okay, so that's one thing to take note of. So meaning that as you are trying to buy from this person, there could be someone else on another part of the world trying to buy from this same person. So if that person initiates his own buy order before you, then the quantity of USDT available to be sold will have been exhausted. By the time you are trying to buy your own, the merchant may no longer have enough USDT for you anymore, and that being the case, you will not be able to initiate the trade. So this is not really a major concern, because for you to be able to initiate the trade, then the merchant surely has that amount of USDT to trade. For example, we've seen this Bybit official advert for a while now, and I expect that by now someone else should have already triggered a trade with this particular merchant. So let's see if we can still trade this amount from this merchant. Tap buy. Good. Do you see this? Insufficient add inventory. That means that someone has already exhausted this particular quantity of USDT available to this merchant. We'll have more on that later. The next thing you can notice here are the limits for that particular advert limit. So you can see the limit for this advert is 100k to 114.5k NGN. What that means is that only trade requests within this limit are permitted on this advert. If, for example, you want to buy 50,000 Naira worth of USDT, that is outside this limit. So you can't trade that from this merchant with this advert. You will have to scroll and look for someone else whose limit covers 50,000 Naira. That's how that works. For example, let's see if we can quickly find one. Okay, that's a guide. Do well to read guides as they pop up. Found one. So this is an advert with a limit of 20,000 Naira to 159,000 Naira. So with this advert, it covers the 50k we are trying to buy. So this is an appropriate advert to get the 50,000 Naira worth of USDT we are trying to purchase. So that is another thing to look out for. The limit of the advert should cover the amount you are trying to buy. The thing we see here is the method of payment, and we have bank transfer. Next valuable information we have on this page is the number of orders that has been completed by this merchant. Okay, you can see this one has taken 2,154 orders with 96% completion ratio. That is very important detail. You want to ensure that the merchant you're dealing with is not a newbie. Okay, that is an experienced merchant with a high success rate. You need to ensure that you're trading with an experienced merchant. Well, this is the real world. This is the Wild West. So you, just for your own safety, for your own security, for your own assurance, because at this point you're dealing with real money. You're sending money to someone that you don't know anything about. So you want to have a level of assurance that this person has been tested and trusted by many other people before you. Okay, so that is one criteria you may want to consider on deciding who to trade with. At the top, you have several filter options where you can use to streamline the results, the advert that has shown to you. Example, you want to streamline the amount you want to buy so that the advert you're showing will be adverts that can actually cover the amount you're trying to buy. How do you do that? You have the amount filter at the top. Once you tap that, you can select the amount you're trying to buy. Example, let's say we're trying to buy 100,000 Naira worth of USDT. Let's confirm that, and it refreshes my page, and all I see here are adverts that are able to trade that amount for me. As you can see, the limits, they all cover the amount I'm trying to buy, which is 100k. So that makes it easier for you. You don't have to bother with trying to find an advert that covers your limit in this case, you can focus on more important details like the price, okay, like the number of trades the merchant has completed, like his completion ratio. Okay, these are more important details that you want to consider and that you may want to focus on while trying to determine who to trade with. Now, a word of caution. Like I said earlier, this is the Wild West. You want to be cautious. You want to be careful. We have a mix of good and bad actors on these P2P platforms. So you want to protect your own interest while dealing on these platforms. And to do that, being a beginner, the first thing you want to do is to use a small amount that you are willing to lose to gain the experience with these platforms before you put in your main investment. Case in point, if I'm planning to invest 100,000 naira, then if I'm a beginner, I should consider trying out 10,000 naira from that 100k first of all. Okay, gain experience with that, trade with that first of all. Then once I've successfully completed a transaction with 10k with no issues, or even if there are issues, if I could successfully navigate around those issues and get them resolved, then I can confidently come back here, put in the balance of 90k and continue my trading. Now this caution applies to all forms of crypto trading. You want to gain experience with a small amount you are fine with losing before you throw in your whole investment, whether it's transferring from one wallet to the other or trying to buy, so anything you're trying to do on crypto. So far it's your first time, it's always a good culture to dip in, have a taste of it, a good slight taste of it before throwing in your all capital, your all weight into any investment. So that's just a word of caution on the side note. So we're going to initiate our transaction now. I'm looking at an exchange with Bybit Exchange. Why? Even though its price is higher, it says top picks for new users. What that means is that this person has more or less been recommended by Bybit platform. So that means the likelihood of you having a smoother experience with them is higher compared to anyone else at this time. So as a beginner, you should work with the picks that are recommended for you by the platform. Of course, as you gain experience, then you can navigate the others and make your own choice on who you want to deal with and whether they suit you or not. Okay, so I'm going to initiate a buy order by this recommended merchant. Tap buy. Okay. Now at this point you have not initiated the transaction yet. Okay, you are yet to initiate the transaction. This is just you opening more details for the advert, and with this you can determine the amount you want to buy, and then clicking this buy button will then initiate the transaction. So for now I can see more details. I can see the terms and conditions of this particular trader. You can see it says no third-party payment. That's a standard operating procedure here. No company account payment. Yep, some have that terms, and it asks you to leave a positive feedback for himself with his phone number ready for you to contact him if you need to. You see, so these are real people. This is a live trade. So you want to be aware of that. You can see a summary of information about the merchant himself. You can see his rating, the orders he has completed within 30 days, his completion ratio, and also his average release time. That means it takes him about, on average, 6 minutes to complete a transaction once you have made your own transfer, which is once you've played your part by sending the money to him, he releases the coin to the buyers within 6 minutes, which is a very fast release time. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Of course, you surely will experience faster ones, but this is also good enough. Okay, so if you want more details about the merchant, tap his name here, then you see much more details. You can see all his completed orders, his overall rating. He has 386 good ratings and 9 bad ratings. Well, bad ratings means that the counterparts for that trade had a bad experience and they deem it fit to actually, you know, make their experience known on the platform by giving the merchant a thumbs down. So that is one thing you may want to take note of. But overall, he has way more good experiences versus the bad experience. The truth is that it can be unrealistic to expect a merchant to have 100%, and this is coming from someone who has been a merchant himself. Okay, some people are just interesting to deal with. So no matter what you do, things beyond your control can lead to a bad experience for the counterpart in that trade. So you don't want to be too worried when you see negative remarks. Just what you want to focus on is the ratio. Okay, what is the ratio between the positive and the negative? And for this, having a 97% good rate, that's a lot. That's impressive. Okay, that's good enough. So that's a good merchant that you can deal with. For more information, you have the more data, where you can also see when the account was created. And with this, you know that if you're dealing with a new trader or an old time trader. Now, it is preferable to deal with an old time trader compared to a new trader, a new account. Although that doesn't say everything, but it is still something to take note of. Now, do you have to check all these details every time you want to trade with a merchant? Well, not necessarily, but you may if you want to, but not necessarily. The first page already give you the most important information, which is the number of orders. That tells you how busy, how active this trader is. You also have the percentage good rating. That tells you how efficient he is, how well he serves his customers. So those 2 points are literally good enough to help you decide on whether to trade with the person or not. The details we have here are generally good enough to help you make an informed decision on whether to trade with this person or not. Having delayed this transaction for about 10 minutes, I expect that by now other prospective buyers would have already exhausted the amount of USDT this merchant has to sell. Now let's put that into practice. I'm going to try to buy $100 from him. I expect that once I tap 100 USDT, I will not be able to trigger this transaction. Let's try that out. Good. Insufficient add inventory. Just as I thought. So others already exhausted the amount of USDT he has, while I was delaying, trying to navigate and research all I can about this merchant. So yes, you want to be cautious, but you also want to be fast with it. Okay, you don't want to spend more than a few seconds trying to find details of the merchant. Just quickly go through the terms and conditions, quickly go through the merchant details, which you should have even seen on the previous page. So you may not need to be looking for this on this page. What you saw on the previous page should be good enough to determine if this is a good merchant to trade with or not. But to be sure, you can quickly open the more information just to see the days he has been trading for, then quickly initiate your order. Of course, at this point you already know how much you're trying to buy, so you wouldn't spend more than 1 or 2 seconds typing in the amount you're trying to buy and initiating the buy. You can see we have 2 options on determining how to place our order, either with crypto or with fiat. With fiat means you want to enter the amount you are going to buy in Naira, okay, NGN, while if you want to buy it by the crypto amount, you enter the amount you want to buy crypto, 100 USDT. As you can see below that, you have I will pay 112,900 NGN. So it gives you the equivalent amount that you are going to pay. On the other hand, if you use the Naira, the fiat option, which is NGN in this case, it will show you the amount of USDT you are going to get. And if it suits what you're trying to do, then tap the buy option and initiate the buy order. Then you have this saying that the coins you've bought will be credited to your funding account, so you know exactly where they will be and you don't get lost trying to find what you have gotten eventually. Okay. We've missed the opportunity to trade with this merchant, so we'll have to go back to the trading area and find another merchant that is ready to trade with us. Okay, so now we have all these options and we also have a recommended merchant, so let's be sure it is still live. Then tap the buy button. I haven't seen all the details we need to see. We've seen the, oh good, this one has even more terms, so we have to go through the terms before we initiate the transaction. Never skip going through the terms of that merchant. Never skip that. It is very important so that you don't do a bad trade. Okay, you don't do a bad trade. If you violate any of the terms and conditions for that trade, the merchant has a right to cancel the transaction, and that could just stress you out unnecessarily. Okay, so don't skip reading the remarks, reading the terms and conditions of the merchant. This is very important. Let us quickly go through these terms because it is more comprehensive and generally applicable to all merchants for your own safety as well as the safety of the merchant himself. So the first thing it says is it does not accept third-party payments. That is literally standard procedure. That means the name of the bank you're paying from has to be the same name on your profile on Bybit. That is very important. So ensure that those 2 names match if you don't want any complications of your transaction. Then he has a number of banks that it doesn't deal with. Ensure to avoid those banks if you're trying to trade with him. So this is another warning, a general standard to protect your account and the merchant's account from any problems, because governments don't always support crypto trading. So you want to keep yourself safe by never using any crypto related words in your remarks when trying to make a transaction. Yes, some banks require you to give a remark before you can transfer. Put anything else. Put transfer. Put anything else. Transfer is good enough, but never put anything related to crypto like Bitcoin, BTC, or the coin you're trying to buy, or anything at all that is crypto related. Avoid it. Your account may be in jeopardy, may be at risk if you do not follow this warning. So receipt is another important document to have available, as you may need it to prove that you've completed your end of the transaction in case of any misunderstanding. So that will be all for terms and conditions when you're trying to navigate the peer-to-peer trading environment. Please take note of these few reminders, as they are going to save you a lot of stress. Very important. If you don't find a favorable advert for you to trade with, don't rush into anyone. Hold on a bit, refresh the page, and you'll find new options available for you to trade with. So take your time until you're comfortable with the terms, with the deal you are about to transact with. You're okay with the price, you're okay with the trader's history. These are things that you want to be satisfied with before you initiate a transaction. Now, this is a recommended trader, but I can see he has just a few others. He has just 76% good rating, which is not good enough for me. So I'm going to stay away from this trade at this time and just refresh until I find a more favorable person to deal with. Okay, so let's hold on and refresh a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna refresh and I have a good enough order for me. He's online, he has good orders. Let's buy from FastPay merchants. I'm gonna quickly browse through his terms. Once I see them, I browse through his details. So I've said it before, so I go ahead and enter the amount I am trying to buy. Once that is done, tap the buy button, and then it takes us to the next page. As you can see, we also have a bit of mini tutorial on this page that's going to guide you on how to navigate it. Do well to go through this tutorial one after the other, as it's going to help you understand what is going on this page. Now you have the details of your order, you have the counterparty details, where you have the name of the merchant, and you can see some information about that. Here you can contact the seller through a chat option on Bybit, and then you also have where you get to the payment details. So done browsing all this information, you tap pay now to get the payment details. So that's that for the quick tutorial. You remember the timer already counting down, so you want to complete your part of the transaction before this time runs out. Very important. So let's go ahead and pay this merchant. I can see the price is trying to sell. I can see the amount of USDT I'm going to get from this transaction and all other details I need to get. You can see this is the chat option for chatting with the merchant. So on this page, I have more details on what I'm trying to do. So here I have the payment information. I have the account details of the merchant. All I have to do is transfer the amount I'm trying to buy, and then I send that to this account. Once I'm done, then I click the payment completed option, where the merchant gets the information that I have completed the payment. So once you click payment completed, the merchant is now logged into this trade. It cannot exit the trade until there's an agreement. So immediately you make the transfer, you want to quickly come back to this page and click and tap payment completed, so as to secure your interest in this transaction. You don't want to delay and waste time, allow the timer to go out, and then you lose the money you sent. Because if you don't tap this, then first of all, the buyer cannot release your coin to you, and the transaction will be automatically closed by the platform. So you want to tap payment completed as soon as you make your transfer. Not before, but make sure that you make the transfer. Then you come here to quickly tap the payment completed before this timer runs. So now I'm going to copy this bank details, then go to my bank platform and initiate the transfer of 100,000 naira to this account. Once I'm done with that, I'll come back here and tap payment completed. Okay, let's get that done. And see, I tap on the account number to get it copied. I tap on the bank name to get it copied. I tap on the name to get it copied. So whatever I need out of this information, I tap on it and it gets copied successfully, as you can see. Alright, so now I'm going to my bank profile to complete this transaction. So I'm going to quickly simulate a scenario where you close this page for one reason or the other. Okay, let's see if we can get it back. I'm going to Bybit, because for some devices, one may lose an app once you leave that page. So let's see if we can find it back. Go to P2P trading like we did earlier. You can see you already have the notification that you have one pending P2P order, pending payment. So just tap that and you're back to where you left off. Then you continue where you stopped. That's very important to know. Alright, so we're going to quickly initiate the transfer now. Transfer. I have the bank name. That's Money Points. I have the account number already copied. I verify the name matches the name on the platform. Daniel Okorafor. Okay, good. That's good. Then I go back to my bank and next. Now I also verify the amount I'm sending. It has to match the amount down here as well. That's 100,000 naira. I just use trans as my remark. Verify everything is complete. I still have time on my side. I have to ensure that I still have time. You don't want your time to run out, so you don't lose your money. So I still have time. Then I click send and initiate. So I've sent 100,000 naira to Daniel Okorafor. Once that is done, I tap done and the money has been sent. Next thing I want to quickly do is come to the platform and tap payment completed. Okay, now you can see a bit of warning that you should have made a transfer before you tap paid. Now tick this option saying that to avoid restrictions, ensure it is made with an account that is your name, which was done. So that is confirmed. I tap confirm. Now the coin will be released within 10 minutes. Why? Because that's the average time for this merchant to release his coin. Now if he is online, if he gets the transfer quickly enough, you can come here and release your coin within seconds. Okay, so there are several factors that determines how fast it's going to release your coin, and one important factor is how fast he gets the money you transfer to him. Okay, now what I can do is to contact him to let him know that I've done my part. Although immediately I click that pay, he's also going to get an alert on Binance, on Bybit, that he has. Immediately I tap that paid earlier, he will also get notified. So he will just go to his bank and check if he has gotten the money. Now the reason why I use 100,000 naira is because it's easier. It avoids errors. I don't want a scenario where you start having cobbles or numbers that are not round figures. That can easily allow room for errors, and it's basically preferable to have round figures as the amount you are transferring. Also for account safety. You don't want your account to be at risk of being flagged for shady transactions. So having a round figure transaction is safer, it's smoother, and it's basically way more convenient than having a transaction with cobbles and all the rest. And that's also why when you are choosing the option to use to initiate your transaction, like we saw at the beginning, where we could choose the let's quickly see that, where we could choose the, okay, this ad already expired, so let's see another one quickly. good, where we could choose the with crypto or with fiat. Choosing with crypto means that there's a tendency, there's a risk that you will get, a figure that is not a round figure. If you choose USDT, like 160 is not necessarily a round enough figure for me, even though it's still all right, compared to having, let's say, me having 1000, for instance. Okay, so that's just a side note. It's not really critical, but for the sake of convenience, it's not a bad idea to have that. So right now we are waiting for this gentleman to notice our transaction and release the coins. Right now the coins is being held on escrow by Bybit, so he can't run away with the money. He can't help. He can't do anything but respond. And if he doesn't respond, then I can actually still get my coins from Bybit if I can prove to them that I have made a transfer. So regardless of whether the seller wants it or not, so if I can prove sufficiently that I have done the transfer, then I will still get the coins. Okay, and how do I do that? Once you tap the need help option, you find somewhere to initiate a complaint, more or less. Let me see. Okay, so you have several options where you can raise an issue, and with that, the admin, which is in this case Bybit, they will come in to settle the conflict in the transaction. But at this point, there is no need to do that. So I can send a message to the merchant. Feel free to send anything you want to send to him, and he's going to get it on his end as well. You have his phone number. If you want to, feel free to reach out to him on mobile, and that's also another option. Not all merchants have their mobile numbers on their platforms, but for the ones that do, you can choose to use that if you want to. Now, another thing you can do is to upload a receipt of your transfer to this page. Although it is not necessary, it is not critical, but if there is need for it, then that is an option available to you. You have photos or PDFs. So once you save the image of your transfer, the receipt of your transfer, you can always send it to this page. Okay, so all we're doing now is waiting for the seller to release our coin. Let's hope he's online. Let's hope he has gotten the money on his end, and let's hope he's a nice seller and releases our coin, as his name implies, fast pay. You don't have to stay here all through the time waiting for the merchant to release your coins. Feel free to go and do other things. Assure that you've done your own part, you've initiated the transaction, you've clicked paid, and it is secure. The coins are secure on escrow, which is Bybit, so you can't lose your coin for no reason. So feel free to go and do other things and come back later to see if your coin has been released. And like I said, even if your phone runs out, maybe if your phone goes off, the app got closed or whatever, like we're going to do again, you can always open the app again and you navigate to the P2P trading area, and from there you will see your active trades on the trade history section, which is here. So see that it's still there. Okay, you can see this. Okay, good. So your coin has been released. What's this one click buy? I'm not sure what that is, but our coin has been released. So from what we saw, the coin was released at the point the timer ended. Yes, our coin has been released, and to see that detail, go to P2P trading history. We have in progress and all. So go to all, you see all your trading history. Then we can tap on the trade we just completed. So our coin has been received. It's now in our funding wallet. Now, as we can see, the coin was released after 10 minutes timer. Okay, after 10 minutes timer, the coin was released into our account since we have paid. All right, so that's essentially a very smooth transaction. Do well to leave a review for the trader. It helps others. The review that others gave helped you to make a good decision. So you also want to do the same so that you can also transfer the assistance, the support, and the opportunity to serve and help others out as well. So that's all for trying to navigate and buy USDT from the Bybit application. Now let's go and see where our USDT is on the assets section. Okay. As you can see, we now have a total asset of 88.57 USD, which is the equivalent of the 100K we just purchased, and it's under our funding wallet. This marks the end of this guide. We've been able to purchase USDT, and now we can continue our cryptocurrency investment journey. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, if it has been able to help you start the journey into your cryptocurrency investment phase, then do well to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to this channel for more valuable videos that will be dropping soon. See you on the next one. Peace.